Hello and welcome back to Flatwood's Hunting Adventures. So today's episode we're going to take the 9mm that we coated the other day, and they're all in this Folgers can, and we're going to size them. We're going to load them on my Dillon 550, and then we're actually going to ballistic test them. Little disclaimer, the other day when we were testing the Condor, I told you that bullet alloy was 40-1. In fact, it's 30-1. I just tested a couple of these and it's the same alloy that I was casting with the Condor. So, yeah, we'll see. I have not tried. 30-1 is still very soft. It's a Bernal hardness of about 9. Pure lead is 5. Wheel weights are a good bit harder than that, and of course hardball is a lot harder than that. We're not going to get into a lot of specifics about my actual load data because I'm running Subsonic. Not that it's proprietary information or anything like that, but because just for liability reasons, my best advice to you is when we get to the loading portion, I need you to please consult many loading manuals. Get your data from there. I'm not going to be publishing my data for my Subsonic stuff just because I don't want any liability. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to size these bullets with that disclaimer out of the way. So I'm going to take my bullets, and I'm not going to sit here and size all of you and have you watch that. I've taken the appropriate size die. This is a Lee push through. I have them in 355, 356, 357, 358, depending on what gun I'm using. Believe it or not, they're different sizes. Should slug your barrel. That's probably the best advice that I can give you, and I'll leave a description in the link, or a link in the description below rather, for a link to Cast Bullets, which is a great form for any of those questions that you might have. So we're going to take some bullets. Pour them in my little sizer tray. I've got my sizer die on. I'm going to take my catch bin, put it on top. I love Hornady One Shot. I use it when I size too. So shake it up a little bit. It's a silicone. Give it a little spray on the round and through. Now realistically, I probably don't even have to size these bullets. They drop from the mold very close to what I need them. You saw how that one just kind of sized just a little bit, and the reason is maybe the mold wasn't all the way snug. I'm just giving them to make sure they will chamber in my Ruger carbine. There was another one I felt. More often than not, I generally shoot these, particularly with soft lead and sized. That may not work for you. It depends on the hardness of the lead that you're casting, etc. So I'm going to stop right there. You can see the process. It goes very quick. I can get through hundreds of bullets in a matter of minutes. And then we're going to move over to the Dillon, and we're going to load these up in some 9mm. Sorry, can't be on the camera right now, but I'm going to give you the basic rundown of how the Dillon works. So right here at the top, we've got primer tube, and the primers go anvil up. And this is not going to be necessarily a tutorial on how to set the Dillon up. I'm just giving you the basic operation. This down here catches the primer. As the ram goes up, it's going to size the bullet right here, expel the old primer, and kick it out in this tray. When I push my handle back up, it's going to prime the case that is in here. And then I will advance it. I'll advance it with my thumb over on the other side. You can see that. I'll load up another case. And this one, and you can see there's already one in there. Actually, it's 2 stages. It not only opens up the mouth a little bit so it can accept the bullet in the next station, but it's going to drop the powder. Now I've already set my powder to the right weight, and I've checked it with my scale. I usually run about 3 or 4 to make sure that it's doing correctly before I go into production. I'll advance it again. Put another one over here on this side. You'll see in just a second. This is where my other hand goes, and I'll pick my bullets up out of this tray, set a bullet on top of that one. After I put one on this side, pull that handle up, and it will actually seat the bullet with that station. And then over here, I'll advance again, putting another one in the priming station. When I advance, there'll be one in all 4, and it will crimp with this station, and then the next advance will kick it out into the tray. So I'm about to back it up. I am going to put my bullets in. It's going to be kind of a wide shot. There's not a lot of room to put multiple cameras, but I just wanted to kind of give you a basic overview of how this works. I've already set my powder charge. I've already checked it. I've got my cases down here ready to go, and I stainless tumble my cases. That's probably a great idea for another video now that I'm thinking about it. I'm about to dump these bullets up top that I just sized, and it took about 10 minutes to size all 250. And we're going to load a couple hundred up and go. So there's my station. I've got 2. The one on the right is set for large primers, and the one on the left is set for small primers. It's just a lot easier. I know it's not that I'm spoiled, but remember I used to do things commercially, and so it was a lot easier than having to convert those presses from small to large to actually have 2 different presses. So I actually have 2. And then over here, I do have my multiple different heads set up for my different calibers, and most of them have their own dedicated powder hopper. So that's kind of how things go. Okay, I've got everything set up, ready to go. I've got some of my cases in here. I'll take some of my trusty one shot, spray down a little bit, give them a little shake, and then in goes the bullet, or casing rather, and all the way down. Remember, there was already one in this station. Up primes, advance. Put a bullet over on this one, put an empty case on this one. Probably should have poured my bullets. I have to reach as far. Up they go. Sometimes they don't always kick all the way out. Kind of see how it goes. This is coming out, catching the primer. It'll go back in, and then when I push forward, it seats the primer in. Putting a bullet on this station over there. Putting an empty case over there. And off to the races. The reason it's called a Dillon 550 is because if I'm not trying to shoot a video, I can load about 550 an hour. So here is your green, kryptonite green 9mm that we're going to be shooting subsonic here in a minute. So I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to try to get it in closer. I'll do a round or 2 so you can kind of see a little bit closer of what's going on. And then we're going to head out to the range. Little closer view. In, holds. Always like to double check, make sure that one's got powder because I stopped the camera and I got off the press. It's always a good idea to check. There you have it. Here we are at the range. I just ran one down just to make sure that my LabDAR is going to pick up today. I've got another camera set up downrange, so you're going to see one more on target than you will see me shoot. We've got the Ruger P9C set up. We are shooting the NOE HTC-356-135RF. It's the ones we coated green the other day in the video. Wish you could see what I see through my red dot. I've got this teeny tiny little dot going on, but still it's covering up a 2" by 2" square. That's why we're going to do our testing at 25 yards. I'm just not confident that the red dot would cover up more than the ballistic gel as far as area. So we're going to run 5 shots downrange and see kind of how they do. See what the accuracy is of these. This is my suppressed load. I am running a 45 caliber pistol can on it. The booster is not on. It is a direct thread. And let's just give it a go. See what happens. Actually got the 50 yard with that one. That's funny. This is pretty tough shooting for group. 921, 949. You saw them show up on the LabDAR. Hopefully, we're pretty close to the center. We'll go down there and give it a look and see what happens. And if we're somewhat close, we're going to set up the ballistic gel and see what happens with the 30-to-1 as far as expansion goes. I really enjoy that Ruger P9. It's a lot of fun to shoot. It's just fun shooting pistol calibers and a carbine. As long as I think I can hit the ballistic gel at 25 yards, we're going to go with it. I'm not sure I could do it at 50. Yeah, let's see. Not bad. So, not sure that one that's out. So it's a 2" by 2" square. That's 6 shots. Remember, one was before I started the video, just to see what the speeds were and if the LabDAR was going to pick up. I think I can hit the gel with that. We'll see. Well, this is really tough to do with a 1X, knowing that I have to hit that tiny ballistic gel with this big old red dot. But at the end of the day, we're going to give it a shot. You know what they say, aim small, miss small. .939 and stood the ballistic gel up on its end. I hit it. Let's go see what it did. So, and you're not going to be able to see the wound channel, and that's unfortunate. Oh, look at there. It's right there. in the end. And it looks like it's fully mushroomed. So that's 11¼ inches of ballistic gel. I'm going to set this tripod down, kind of pan down or tilt down rather, and see if I can take this out on camera. So we made it through the gel, or right there at the end. Look at there. So fully mushroomed. Sorry it was on exposure lock there. I hate that. But there it is. So no integrity issues. You can see that that coating is still fully intact, and we've expanded. I'm willing to bet, I don't know, ½ an inch? Maybe a little more? Sorry guys, I had to bring it back in the loading room. So let's do some testing here. So I did zero my scale real quick. You can see it's 0.0. I'm going to take one that hasn't been loaded yet, and let's see what it weighs. So 128.7. So there's a loaded one. Let's see what our recovered one weighs. Guys, that's brutal. Look, coating is 100% intact. That's a grain different. And let's be realistic, that could probably be the difference in bullet weight variation from the casting. I did not weight sort these at all. So I'm going to try to set this down. I'm going to switch hands here. And let's get a reading on what it is. So there we go. 0.639. It started life as a 0.356. Almost double diameter. I think we have to be realistic here. In conclusion, a lot of people feel that you have to buy factory X round to be able to get the penetration and expansion that you would have to have in a self-defense situation. Another myth debunked is the fact that you cannot run subsonic ammunition with 130 grain. Yeah, you can. Another myth busted, that lead projectiles will mess up a suppressor. I find that really hard to believe, considering I've got a Glock that I run these same rounds out of. Thousands of rounds. Never had one issue, not one speck of lead, even in the Glock barrel. Now, granted, I did the homework. I made sure that I did everything that I needed to do to make sure that the bullet fit the bore. 30-to-1 lead, carbine, firing subsonic, roughly 130 grain bullet. I hope you've learned something today. I know that I have. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.